What's good, boys? Welcome back to another episode of Bro Code. I'm gonna tell you a story today about the time that I nearly got a hit put on me trying to do the right thing for the wrong woman. I want this to be a lesson for you to choose wisely. Mostly men are gonna learn this lesson the hard way. Don't let that be you. Toxic woman, toxic people usually don't destroy you all at once. They drain you drop by drop. But if you're not paying attention, it can happen like that. There's an inherent desire in us men to want to protect, to be the shoulder, the rock. This is the masculine essence at its core. But if you're not careful, those desires can be manipulated and exploited. And if you think loyalty, blind loyalty, makes you a man, think again. Not to the wrong woman, it doesn't. This is white knight syndrome, right? And I've been guilty of this. The hero, the damsel in distress. But if you continuously find yourself digging them out of holes that they just jump right back into, cleaning up a mess only for them to make it again the second that you turn your back, this dynamic becomes one-sided. A healthy relationship is a give and a take. Boys, in this life, you only get so much time, energy, focus. These are the three instruments you have at your disposal to create the life that you want for yourself in this opportunity that we call life, in which the window is only ever closing. Are you willing to spend those most valuable assets on a woman who wouldn't do the same for you? Not every woman deserves your protection. Not every woman deserves your loyalty. And if they're committed to chaos, they're not a partner, bro. They're a liability. They play with fire, you get burned. And even if you love them or think that you do, you gotta hop back on that horse, white knight, and get far, far away. You're not here to protect anyone who's committed to a downward spiral. You're here to protect your energy, your mission, your vision. This video is about the trap of toxic women, the danger of desperation, and the hard truths about dating that every man needs to hear. Now let me tell you a story. I went through a bit of a dry spell. Wasn't dating, wasn't seeing women, wasn't having sex, wasn't having fun. I was not in a good way, and I was either too deep in this place to be thinking about women, or working so hard to not be in that place to be thinking about women. Eventually I do get back in the game. And I meet a girl. We got to know each other, familiarity. We ended up becoming an item. And I talked about like optionality, and check out that other video because that gives the background of why this came to be and why I didn't really recognize the red flags like I should have. Frankly, I was just happy to have a woman's presence in my life again. You know, it'd been a long time. And anyway, this girl was in an open relationship, right? She had a boyfriend and it was only open on her side. She wanted to break up with him and he said, wait, why don't we go open? So they did that. Problem was, he was getting no luck on his side. Not for lack of trying. But she, being quite a pretty exotic woman, was getting a lot of interest from men. Me being one of them. We start hanging out and I was 21 at the time, I think. Something like that. And I was still like partying a bit. Time went on, we got closer and closer. We began to share more intimate moments together. Things continued developing. Her boyfriend obviously was upset. I truthfully felt bad for the guy because I had been there. I know what it feels like to have your girl taken by another man. I feel for you, bro, but like you did this to yourself in a way. And I know that's cruel, bro, but like if a woman wants to pull this shit, like open relationship or like I want to break up, you have to let them go. It's really hard. It's really hard. I know, but there's nothing you can do, bro. Their mind's made up. Their heart isn't with you anymore. And you're just going to get dragged along. So you cut the cord before you get swept off your feet. And so our relationship was it was surrounded by all of these weird feelings, right? Her flatmates didn't approve of this because they knew her boyfriend. Her boyfriend didn't approve. It didn't sit right in me either, but I was like, whatever, we're having fun. It is what it is. She was just stepping into this phase of her life of partying, of sex, of exploration, of fun, of excitement. And I was like her usher into this world. Wanted to be on my way out. She kind of pulled me back in and I was like, well, let me show you the ropes here. Anyway, one night she tells me she loves me. Felt good because I'd been starved for so long. We kind of became serious with like flirt with the idea of committing to each other. Her perspective was like she wanted to continue playing the field. She'd just been in a relationship. She didn't want another one, and that's fair. We continue doing this little arrangement where we meet up and we get fucked up and we have fun. But she would have tendencies of like being childish and she just couldn't handle her shit. She always wanted to do it, but she just couldn't handle it. I remember, bro, she got a job at this bar. We went there the day before her first shift, and she got wasted. And I'm like, dude, your soon-to-be boss is right there, and you're like, she was sloppy as. She was all over me, sitting on my lap, kissing me, like, rubbing up on me, and kind of being a hoe. Yo, tone it down, this is not a good look. I went outside. I don't know what I said, but my intention was good. I don't even think it was a rude thing that I said. She slapped me out of nowhere, bro. I was holding my drink. She slapped me. I spilt my drink all over myself, rum and coke, and I had a white shirt like this. And in the process, while she slapped me, she scratched my eyeball. So like all in one foul swoop, I was so furious, bro. I was like, what the f? And then she like ran back inside. Fuck this girl, it's done. Gathered up my stuff, jacket on, and then I'm walking away and I think like, how's she gonna get home? Cause she's bent. And this is that white knight shit, right? If that happened to me today, it's done. There's no second thought. You will never hear of me again. But I thought, she's wasted, I better take her home. I can't really remember what happened the rest of that night, but anyway, she starts working at this bar Fridays and Saturdays, and she would finish on a Saturday and Sunday morning at like 3 a.m. And I would like wait for her, stay up just to hang out with her. So after the shift, when she finished at 3, we'd keep on going until like the morning, the next day. My whole life started to unravel in some ways because the rhythm was off. Anyway, one night I come and pick her up. It's like 3:30 a.m. and she gets in the car and she seems a little bit distraught. She's stressed and I'm like, what's wrong? Are you all right? And she's like, it's nothing, just go. I'm like, hey man, you can tell me what's going on here. Her boss, he was trying to be sexual with her. I'm mad, I want to go back inside and confront this guy. And she's like, no, please, I need this job, I like it. And I'm like, all right, okay, if you say so, I'm gonna keep an eye on this guy. A couple weeks later, I go to the same bar again, and I'm having a drink outside, waiting for her to finish her shift. One of her workmates comes out for her break, and so I'm talking to her. And then a couple other of the workmates come up on the break because it's slowing down, right? There's less people there to tend to. I've had a few drinks at this point. I'm a liquor lip loaded gun, as they say. Perhaps a little bit loose-lipped. I mentioned what happened a couple weeks prior with her boss. And the funny thing was, there were 2 girls there and a guy. The 2 girls looked at each other and they said, he's done that to me too. And so now we're all sharing stories. He'd like give them all free drinks. And then he'd like start getting touchy-feely, and like the dude that was with us who also worked there, he was higher up the chain. Suddenly he disappears. Next minute, the boss comes out, right? And he's like, hey, can I speak to you? I'm like, yep. We go away, we talk for like 30 minutes. He's asking me like, what did they say? And I told him exactly what they said. Look, I'm a chill dude. I don't like conflict. Yeah, I mean, I will if I have to, but I never look for it. I'm a nice guy. Never look for trouble where I got none. But there is a line you can only let him cross once. Never thought I ever could have swung until he caught one. That's what you get for getting cocky to a shotgun. Bars. Old lyrics of mine. Anyway, we kind of like heat up a little bit. I'm like kind of saying, don't pull this shit again or there'll be consequences. He was like very apologetic. He promises he won't do this shit again, blah, 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 blah. But now there's like a little revolution inside their establishment, right? Because multiple girls are now conversing. Oh, wait, he did this to you too? Now I've kind of fucked up the whole flow of this business, right? So he's not a happy camper. I'm not a happy camper. No more than 2 weeks later, I go to her house early one morning, finish work. She's back at her house. Who's there? Her workmates and this boss, this guy who supposedly tried to grape her. And I'm thinking, if this guy is such a predator, why the fuck did you invite him to your home? Well, this is awkward. Like, she's drunk, she's sloppy, she's being slutty, she's hooking up with this workmate, she's trying to get me to come in, she's kind of trying to initiate an orgy. And I'm like, yo, how does this work? If this guy is like a frightful predator, why would you invite him to your home and then present yourself so vulnerably and sexually in front of him? It was almost as though she was inviting him to this orgy. I'm outside for a cigarette and this dude comes up to me and we talk it over, and he's kind of trying to extend the olive branch, right? I'm like, look, if she's fine with it now, then okay, so be it. He leans in and he goes, you know that night that you stepped me out? I searched for you and I was going to put a hit on you, going to put your name in with a mix of bad characters and have them deal with you. The only reason I didn't was because I saw that we had 3 mutual friends, and those 3 friends are people that I care about. I looked this dude up and down. It pissed me off, but it's like, what do you do in that situation? And the gang that he supposedly had connections with, I'd already had trouble with before. They thought I was dealing drugs out of my house when I wasn't. It was actually my neighbors. That's another story. I come back inside and I'm looking at this girl and still all sloppy and like hooking up with this other girl and like, you know, touching each other and shit. And I'm like, what am I doing here? What am I doing with this girl? I never saw her the same after that. She just failed to recognize the risk that I took in doing that. And this is what I mean when I talk about cleaning up messes. Like, I tried to clean this mess up for you, and then you just invited him into your home to make a brand new mess. And you're just hoeing yourself out in front of this guy, kind of enticing him to join in. It was shortly thereafter that I called it off, like a week or 2. Not only was she bad news in that way, but she was also like the damsel in distress. And I came to find she was using me like an emotional tampon, right? She would feel a little bit shitty about something and then like, where's Fletch? Where's the white knight? Come here and cheer me up. Come here and take me out. Come here and buy me a drink. Get me some dinner. And I was a sucker, bro. I was leading with my heart and I was trying to be a good man. Genuinely, I can say, hand on heart, I was trying to be a good dude. But she was just bad news. I remember another time, it was my birthday party. I went out with some friends. She came. She got trashed. She gets sloppy. She just starts being weird. She's like walking out into the middle of the street. She's running away and like, she's just being a nuisance. This is my birthday. I spent all my time trying to take care of her. And then I'm like, yo, you need to chill. Like, let's just get back to your house so you can have some water and some food and like sleep, because you're just acting out. So I'm like trying to get her into the Uber, and then people approach and they're like, are you okay? Do you trust this man? Do you know this man? Like, I'm trying to take her back to my house and do some sick shit with her, you know? And I was like, yo, I know her. Like, I'm trying to fucking help her get home. I was so embarrassed, and this was my night. And I spent it cleaning up after her. So I ended this off, man. I was like, no, I'm done. And the funny thing was, once I left, she became obsessed. Daily text. And this carried on for so long, and then she started having these revelations. She was obviously very heartbroken, and over the weeks and the months, her messages got more and more soft and like, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Like, I realize now, hey look, I don't mean to talk shit about it, but I was so far down at that point. So, much like I have in the past, she learned that lesson the hard way because I was gone. A hard couple months for me because I loved her too. But once the dust settled and the skies parted and I could see clearly, it was like I was in such a better place. And plus the pain of it too, of the breakup, just like led me to head down locking in with a new tenacity, with a new consistency, with a new fire. You know, and that's the beauty of a breakup sometimes too, boys. Look, the time, energy, and focus invested in someone doesn't make them the right one. You have to be smart with who you give your time and attention to. Given enough exposure and familiarity, you'll catch feelings by default. Be intentional, not emotional, because the more time you spend with the wrong woman, the harder it is to leave. That's not love, that's emotional quicksand. Don't mistake passion, lust, infatuation for love. You saw the flags. You just wanted her more than you wanted peace. That mindset will ruin you, bro. And it's not just about dating. It's about your future, your peace. Guard it wisely. Every woman you date either brings you closer to your path or further away. You're not weak for walking away, bro. You're strong for protecting your peace. If you don't know what you're doing, what to look out for, and all the ways that you can be exploited, you're gonna face a whole lot of heartache, bro. It is most common, gentlemen, but you don't have to learn the hard way. I've got a video up on that very subject where I discuss the 3 skills that every man needs to navigate dating successfully, how to become attractive to women, and how to avoid heartache. Learn from my mistakes. Remember, fellas, choose women who align with your path, not just your passion. Be smart, be intentional, and never lose yourself chasing a woman who doesn't deserve you. You don't need to hate women. You just have to be selective. That's it for another bro code, my boys. I hope that one hit home. If you got any stories like that, drop them down below. I love to see it. Not to know that you've been through that, but just to know that other people have. Like, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.